All right, Alex, here we are. We're in Boston. Things are winding down. You got the red plate for another week. You put a couple on already this year, so how was the install? Does it ever get old?
Putting the red plate on never gets old. Obviously, this is a position that you want to be in, and you hope to. Like, you do a lot of prep work to be in this spot. So as much as you kind of expect it from somebody like Coop, you're still not taking it for granted every time you put on. Like, this is Supercross racing. Anything can happen, and you just got to be thankful for where you're at the time. I mean, there's still 6 races to go.
Okay, I like that. When you get to ride the bike with the red plate from here to Tech, and you've gotten to do it 3 times now because you had to do your sound check for 3 different pipes, how is that? Like, do you just like, I'm the man? Or is it just like, my guy's the man? Like, how do you feel about it? Does it feel like anything?
I wouldn't say like I feel like I'm the man by any means. Obviously, like, red plate or not, like riding a factory bike to and from Tech that you frame every week, you inspect everything, you clean everything, like there's not a speck of dirt on anything. You know, you just put 14 hours into your build. Like, this is the product of my work. This is like what I have to show off, you know, like, I don't know, just little details and things like that I like. And the red plate obviously is cool. It gets people kind of looking, but I wouldn't say like, oh wow, I'm a badass because I'm not on the track doing it.
Okay. Decor does all of the graphics for everybody. I've wondered this for a while. Do they print red plates ahead of time and send them to you guys, or do you wait until you have them?
Wait until you have them, I think. I mean, I'm not very superstitious, but I think like going into the season with red plates already in the truck really isn't the best idea. So, I mean, with shipping and stuff these days, they print them after you have the red plate, and you can overnight those things to a hotel or wherever you need to. So, yeah, like the first time we had the red plate, I built with just blank number plates and then had to swap them. So, and that's cool too. Like, you're flying in to put a red plate on, and that's what you have to do before you go to Tech.
How is putting the decor material on? Like, any little tricks, or is it just flawless every time?
I think it's simple. I mean, obviously I do, I don't know, probably 60 sets of graphics a year, but so I think it's easy, but a little bit of heat to the graphics and they go on like butter. It's no problem.
Okay. As we kind of get into this, you know, things are winding down. The points lead has gone from double digits to single digits and then back up to double digits again. From our side of things as like commentators, we think if you guys have a double-digit lead, it's safe. Does it ever feel safe? Is it not safe until the very last race?
I don't think it's ever safe until the last race. You're still going out there to do the job. Even like I think Coop had a 15-point lead at one time, and you're still like going for the win. Like, you could kind of chill, but you don't want to. Like, you kind of want to go for the win every time, and that's how these guys are wired. I mean, if it was crazy big, then maybe you would switch a little bit, but I think you go for the win every time.
You've been in this position a couple times. Like, you and Dylan won a handful of championships. You're a 450 MX champion, 2-time 250 Supercross champion. Does this one feel different for you?
I think so. With Coop last year at Nashville was the first time I ever had the red plate in 450 Supercross. So I thought that was cool, and he was tied with Jet at the time. And then we went into Arlington this year, tied with the red plate, and then leaving with the sole red plate, I think was cool. Like, I'd never been in that spot before as a 450 Supercross mechanic. Obviously, outdoors was different, but it's cool. I like it.
I know in the past, like, you've definitely felt the squeeze of everything that's have to happen. And when you get closer and closer, it does get more stressful. Does it feel like this, or as you've gotten older and as you've gotten more race wins, especially with this guy that you know so well, has that made it easier?
Yeah, I think it does. I get along with Coop really well outside of racing. I mean, I only live maybe like a mile from him, so we hang out during the week and stuff like that and go to dinner and stuff. I feel like I'm less stressed with Coop than I was with Dylan. But it's still like we are a pretty small team. Like, we see the same 8-10 people, you know, a week, but there's a lot of people at Yamaha and stuff like that are watching. And when you really like sit back and think about how many people do something for the program, you know, between sponsors, people at Yamaha, the marketing team, like, then you kind of like, if you think about it too much, you might overstress it a little bit. But for me, I'm just going to do the same job every week. And I think it's stressful because, I mean, you have somebody's life in your hands every time they ride the bike, red plate or not. Like, if my bike just had a white plate on it and he was 5th place in points, I'd be building the same motorcycle. Like, that's my pride and my work. But having the red plate, like, when it comes down, we have 6 races to go. I mean, is a little bit of pressure, but there's still a lot of time. So as long as you have the red plate when you leave the last race, you're happy.
All right, last question. Red plate during the week? Is he at the farm running the red plates, or is he on black and white?
Black and white plates at the farm. When the points are tight, that's something I did with Dylan in the past too, is like when the points are tight and you could have a big point swing here and there, like not only is it an emotional roller coaster at the races, but you don't want to leave and go to the race having the red plate in your practice bike and then come home and the mechanic's got it white again. You're just like, dang, now my practice bike's got white plates because I lost it. Like, really, we're there to do a job. We're there to put our laps in, work on our technique, the rider's fitness, and things like that. So I like to just run white and black at practice unless like there's a photo shoot that a gear company or Monster is doing a photo shoot and they're like, hey, we want red plates. But other than that, it's just white and black, and it just keeps it consistent, keeps you hungry.
Thanks, Alex.
Yep.
Okay, Pedro, here we are at Foxborough. You guys got the red plate on again. How was it to put the install on today? I mean, you've done quite a few red plates in your time, so do they just lay on easy, or are you very meticulous with making sure no creases, no bubbles?
I treat it the same every weekend, week out, whatever color it is. As long as you're going like this at the end of the series, it's all that matters to me.
Okay. When you ride the bike through the pits with the red plate on, do you feel good, or do you just feel like anything else? You're not trying to draw attention to yourself. You're not throwing extra revs.
No, I mean, it feels good, obviously, right? You're doing something right if it's red, but yeah, it's the same for me, really. Like, yeah, it's special, but I just try to treat it the same week in, week out.
Okay. Same thing I asked Peanut, I'll ask you all the same stuff. Do you guys have those backgrounds on the truck already before the season even leaves from Anaheim, or do you wait until he has the red plate for Decor to print him, or Decal Works to print him and then send him over?
Normally you would just wait till, if you came in that position, you'd order them. For us, it was a little bit different because we came in with number 1 already red, so we had a couple sets ready to go. I think at this point I'm like very close to having none left, so maybe have to order some next. Shout out Decal Works, best graphic company out.
How does this stuff lay down? Is there any tips and tricks to it for you?
Honestly, it's one of the best companies I've ever worked with laying down anyways. KTM's pretty easy, actually, to put on. Nothing crazy. We get to heat up, big, like where the pipe is, you know what I mean? It's pretty flat everywhere, so it lays down pretty easy for me.
Yeah, looking at your side pipe plate, like, you got one little edge and that's about it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Sometimes like if it's like you put it on cold, build day, then it rides in the semi-truck, comes out, like any graphic might come up a little bit, but it's basically pretty good every time.
Okay. You've been in this position a few different times. You're a 3-time champion. You have a lot of different race wins under your belt. Does this time feel any different than other ones have, as you're older in the game, as he's a defending champion over here and a 2-time MX2 world champion? Does it feel different than the other ones did, or is it just still a new experience every time?
With my first one with J-Mart, it was kind of like we put in the work before outdoors. So I kind of knew like roughly where we would be in our first one, but I didn't think it would be as dominant as he was in the first one. The second one, I knew it was going to be hard with Marvin. Marvin was very strong, and they were going back and forth. I feel like something like 2 points the last couple races. It was super close coming down to the end. That one was pretty stressful. Last year it was kind of like we knew it was in Tom, but it came out of kind of nowhere. He just got on a roll and stuck there. But when his back was against the wall, like I feel like Philly was maybe one of his better races where he really had to, put it down. He did, and he was good, and then finished off in Salt Lake. Obviously, this year, you come in with that expectation, so you want to be there. But for us, it's kind of like just treat every weekend like it's a new weekend and get it done. This one is maybe a little bit more expected, right? Because he's the defending champion. That sometimes doesn't feel like that. It's so easy to get caught up on the big picture, but if you treat it as every week is a new week and you're just trying to win, I think that's the way you should approach it.
In the last couple of weeks, especially the last 2 weeks, that he has the red plate and he's getting a bit of a gap on guys without winning a main event yet, I think has made some people be like, oh my God, Tom's going to do it again. I've always been like, yeah, he's a 2-time champion. He's the defending champion here. How do you not credit him? For you, what have you thought about the guy's expectations coming into the season? Do you think that everybody slept on him? Do you think it's gone the way it's supposed to go?
it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like you want that instant feedback of like, oh, he's the guy, you know, like where you believe in him. But like at the end of the day, it's almost better to come under the radar for me. Like it's sweeter if he wins and no one expected it, right? Like, yes, he's the champ and he's not always the flashiest guy, but when you go down the line and you look at the results, he gets it done, you know?
As the point gap kind of ebbs and flows through the season, is there a safe number for you? I know sometimes like people watch, as long as it's double digits, it's not as stressful of a deal. If it's single digits, it definitely is. Or are you thinking this thing's not done until we have the number one plate in our hands?
Yeah, it's nice to have a buffer, right? But like, if you treat it like you have no point lead every weekend, I feel like that's the way to do it. You know, you always want to be, I gotta get it done, because it's easier to, I feel like mentally, as a rider, I would say too, and as me, like, okay, we got it done tonight, we put ourselves in a good position, now we move on to the next weekend. You know, you don't want to worry about, okay, I have 10, I can get 5th, and I'll still be in the lead. You want to be like, I gotta win tonight, you know, and I feel like you get more out of a rider that way.
Okay. Last thing, and I asked Peanut the same thing again, obviously. You're not his practice bike guy like Alex is, Cooper's practice bike guy, but you still have to negotiate everything back and forth to Florida and make sure everything's on top. Are you sending red plates down there, or is he practicing with black and white numbers?
Originally, off-season, he was red plate because he was coming in red plate. After Tampa, he went to black, and then we brought up the practice bike for Alabama, and he had the red plate, so we had to put the red plate on the practice bike. That was his spare bike for the Triple Crown, and so then he's been practicing with that same stuff I put on the weekend. So like, but I think for him it doesn't, like red, black, purple, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just getting it done, getting his training in and out, get to the races.
Thanks, Pedro.
Yep, no problem.